Hello YouTube, it's Alan from the Dawn Chorus plot. It's been quite a while since I've uploaded any videos to YouTube. I've had a bit of a holiday from doing so, and I think it's about time that I started again. I must admit I have missed doing it. So ideal time is now. It's time to start sowing sweet peas. Where I am in the Midlands, middle of October is about right. It's not too warm now, although we've had some very seasonal weather, so they won't grow away too much. What we want to do is get a good root system ready for them to be planted out in the spring, March, April time. I do mine in root trainers. These are extra deep root trainers. These are the book ones which open up, and they air prune at the bottom, so you get a good root system. As it prunes the root at the bottom, it produces side shoots. You can use the cheaper ones which don't open up, but I find them more beneficial if you're just putting something in short term. But for long term, these are going to be in about 4 or 5 months, well 4 months anyway. They get quite compacted with roots, and they can be a bit more difficult to get out of the other ones. But for the sweet peas, all as I'm doing is a general purpose multi-purpose compost. This actual compost has probably grown 2 or 3 times already. It's about 2 seasons old anyway, and it's had potatoes in it, carrots in it, and I just reuse it. A little bit of bloodfish and bone, and that's all that you need. Compost is quite expensive to buy, so I reuse mine, and as of up to now, I've had no bad results. So you just lightly fill your root trainers and just give them 1 tap, and then just a little sprinkling just to bring the levels back up again. Don't make it too compacted, because there's 3 things that seeds need, and that's nutrients, moisture and air. They also need some air, which if you keep tapping, you make the soil, the compost, a bit too compact, and it drives all the air out. You get better results by not compacting the soil. So when they're full up like that, what I do then is I give them a good water. No seeds in there yet. Use a fine rose and give them a good soak. Helps to level the soil as well, the compost. Now I shan't water these again now until after they've germinated. Some people with the sweet pea seeds, they soak their seeds for a couple of hours or even overnight, and some people, because it's a very hard shell on the sweet peas, I don't know if you're picking that up, some of them put a little score mark on them as well. No need to do any of that. You don't have to do anything with them. All you need to do, there they are in there, all you need to do is put them on the damp soil. I place 1 per station, and I put sprinkle a little bit of dry compost on top. You don't want them very deep, 5-10 mil at the most, no more than that. A bit more compost in that one. They don't need to be deep. If you soak them overnight, they've got more. They will double in size because they've taken up the moisture. But soaking them, they are more likely to rot, especially if the weather is a little bit cooler and they take a little bit longer to germinate. There's a higher risk of them rotting off. So don't soak them. It's a myth that you need to soak them. You definitely do not. I've always had better results from just putting them in like that. Now I've got quite a few to sow, so I won't bore you with all that. I shall sow the rest of them, cover them over, and I shall bring you back then. So that's the sweet peas all sown. The arrows are just to show me which direction that variety is in. I just number mine, and then I have a little book with all my numbers in telling me what everything is. This isn't the only way you can sow sweet peas, and it's what suits me. Everybody has different ideas, but this is just what suits me, and it seems to work for me. But some years you do get failed crops on everything. I will be showing everything, whether it's failed or whether it's a success. Sometimes you do things exactly the same the following season and you have no luck. So that's just the way gardening is. But these are all sown up now. I would protect these from the mice. Mice absolutely love them. Even when they've germinated, the mice will cut the stems off and still take the seeds. So you can't relax. Just use whatever methods you do to control mice, or keep them in an environment where mice can't get to them, which is pretty tricky, to be fair. So these will go into a cold greenhouse. That you could put them outside this time of year, but I just like to see them germinate in the cold greenhouse, and as soon as they germinate I shall put them outside. And unless we get some severe weather which starts to go below zero, they will stay outside, because I don't want green development. I want root development, and the harder you treat them, to a certain extent, the harder you treat them, the better the plant you will get later on. You don't want a leggy plant. You just want root production throughout the winter months, and then round about March, April time they will go outside. But I will be giving you updates on these as and when I do anything to them and on their progress. I'll just take you back outside and show you what I should be planting them in and where I should be planting. The idea with these sweet peas is they've all been chosen for their scent, very high scented. I know sweet peas do have a good scent, but these are exceptionally high in scent. And my idea is to put bunches out in front of the house to be sold on, and all the proceeds will go to the air ambulance, which is a charity that my father likes to support, and that's where the money will be going. We don't get a lot of passing trade here, but it doesn't matter. Everything will go to the air ambulance. So I'll just take you outside. So this is all my homemade compost from last year, and that is one full season. It's got all the newspapers in that we have, and any cardboard, all broken up, and it's everything from the garden. And as you can see, it's a good compost. Really is your best friend in the garden, and that should grow some good sweet peas. And also I put it on top of my veg as well. So it's well worth making your own compost. You can't get anything better, in my opinion. So this is the area just outside the polytunnel, on the west side of the polytunnel, where I plan to have a permanent bed for my sweet peas, and I've made this structure for them. This was all lawn, this area, and I've dug it over, and I'm now trying to fill it up with my homemade compost. These two beds here will probably be for dahlias, I would think. And I've put a wire across the top which will hold the top of the bean canes, and on the bottom I plan to have 2 wires on each side to pinch the canes. I'll just show you in a second what I mean. But I've turned this the grass over, and all this here is the sievings off the compost from when I was trying to grow some long carrots and parsnips. And what didn't go through the sieve I kept, and I think that will help retain moisture, and it won't do any harm at all. But on top of that, I'm putting my homemade compost. This will be a no dig. All I'll do is just top it up every year, and I also plan to put me spring bulbs in here as well, so it won't just be for sweet peas. The mechanism that I'm using to hold the canes is called the Jiff clips, and they work quite well. So you can see that there. You just pinch them on and they shouldn't move, and it keeps the cane at a slight angle, which hopefully will enable the flower stems to point out and greet you, because they should go straight up. At the bottom I've drilled 2 holes here, and that's where I'll put the wire, and hopefully I'll pinch the bottom of the cane, which will help keep the canes out of the ground and stop the bottom of the canes rotting. And that's my homemade compost ready to go on and be spread. If you are interested in growing sweet peas, I shall be doing updates, so you can sow at the same time as me and follow the progress, and I'll explain what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Hope this is of use to you. Take good care, everybody. Bye for now.